Easter Sunday, and I was just going to start eating my egg. But I want to read you a story first, and then we can talk about the egg too. So the first part of the story is about Jesus' crucifixion, which is a big word for Jesus' death on the cross. After Jesus was arrested, they brought him to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. He didn't think Jesus had committed any crime, but the people wanted Jesus to die. Pontius Pilate was worried that if the crowd rioted, he might lose his job, so he let the soldiers take Jesus to be crucified. The soldiers made fun of Jesus. They dressed him in a purple cloak and made a crown out of thorny twigs and spikes. "We're worshipping the King of the Jews," they mocked. Then they beat him harshly. They tried to make him carry his heavy cross to the place where they were going to kill him, but they had hurt him so much that he could not do it. They had to get a passerby to take it instead. They fixed Jesus to the cross by hammering nails into his hands and feet. Then they shared his clothes amongst themselves. Even though they'd been so cruel to him, Jesus called out to his Father in heaven, "Father, forgive them, for they don't understand what they're doing." 2 criminals were also being crucified with him. One of them asked for forgiveness too, and Jesus promised that he will go to heaven with him that very day. Jesus' friend John looked after Mary, who was filled with grief because her son was being killed. At noon, the sky got very dark. 3 hours later, Jesus called out, "My work is finished now. I give my spirit to you, Father." Then he died. At that moment, an earthquake shook the ground. In the temple, the curtain tore open, showing that the barrier between the people and God had now been removed. In the evening, a rich man called Joseph asked Pontius Pilate if he could have Jesus' body. He was a good man who believed in Jesus. He wrapped the body in fine linen cloths and took it to the tomb that had been carved out in the rock on the side of a hill. Then he got to his servants to roll a huge stone in front of the entrance of the tomb to cover it up. So Jesus died on the Friday, and then on the Sunday, Jesus is alive again. So our story says, very early in the morning, the women went to the tomb where the body of Jesus had been laid. Mary Magdalene, James's mother Mary, and Salome carried spices they had brought to anoint him. "How are we going to get into the tomb?" they asked each other in worried voices. "That stone Joseph put there is too heavy for us to move, and the gardeners won't be here to help us this early." But when they reached the tomb, they found that the heavy stone had been rolled away, and they could walk right into the cave. But the stone shelf where the body of Jesus should have been lying was empty. Apart from some folded clothes, Jesus was gone. Then they saw that there was someone else there, a man dressed in dazzling white clothes, sitting nearby. They were terrified and crouched down in fear. "Don't be afraid," he said to them. "I know you're looking for Jesus of Nazareth, but why would you look for him here, in the place of the dead? He isn't here, he is risen from the dead, just as he said he would. Jesus is alive again. He has gone on ahead of you to Galilee, but don't worry, he'll meet you there. But first go back and tell Peter and the rest of the disciples that Jesus is risen." The women were amazed and shocked, but full of joy. They ran back and tell their friends, who could hardly believe what happened. Peter and John raced ahead to see if it was true. John ran faster and got there first, but he was afraid to go in and look. Peter ran straight in and saw the empty shelf where the folded grave clothes lay. John finally followed him. They both stared with surprise. It was true. Jesus was gone. He really was alive again. Okay, so that's got me wondering, why do we give and receive eggs at Easter? So I was doing some research on the internet, and I found out that the egg shell is a symbol, or represents or helps to show life and rebirth. The hard shell of the egg represents the tomb or the grave that Jesus was in, and it doesn't have anything inside it because the grave was empty and Jesus is alive. I just found that very interesting. I thought I would share that. So now we've got a craft, and for the craft I need to take you outside. So come with me. Now, a big part of Easter fun is rolling the eggs. So I need to get some eggs to be able to boil them. So this is where I get my eggs from. Hey girls, you made me any eggs? Let's have a wee look. Can we see any? Oh, there we go, we've got one. Perfect. That'll do us good. We'll go and boil this up. Thank you, girls. Thank you, Tika. Thank you, eggs. Okay, so this bit's really dangerous, so you need a parent or a guardian to help you with this, because it's very, very hot. So we get our pot of boiling water and our egg, and put it in the water, and that's going to take about 10 minutes to boil and make it all hard. So we'll just leave that in, maybe even longer, but your parents and guardians will know better. Okay, so my egg has now been boiling for 15 minutes almost. So it'll definitely be all nice and hard. So I'm going to take it out and I'm going to let it cool. And then we can do the next part. So my egg is nice and cool now. So I'm just going to decorate my egg with some pens. But you can do whatever you'd like. Use stickers. You could use feathers. You can put on whatever you want. It's your egg. You be as creative as you like. Okay, so my egg has a picture of our story. So there's the empty cross, because Jesus isn't there, and the empty tomb, because Jesus isn't there either. He's alive. So that's what I've put on my egg. Now we get to do the fun part. We get to roll our eggs. So I was trying to think of creative ways that we could roll our egg. Normally as a family we would go to Châtellerault, but the parks are all closed just now. So I was thinking maybe if you have a chute at your house, you could roll your egg down the chute, or a big bit of cardboard. You can make a slope out of that. Or I've got stairs at my house, so I'm going to roll my egg down the stairs and we'll see how that turns out. Here's my hill. I'm going to roll my egg down this big hill, and the reason we roll our egg, remember, is because the stone was rolled away from the tomb. So here we go. Have a lovely week and enjoy your Easter eggs, and just remember the reason why we celebrate Easter. So here we go.